Good afternoon. It's Sunday, I think. Right, so today we are starting our next square. Today will not be the longest stream because I've spent all day and a lot of yesterday prepping the bobbins for today. So I apologise for no stream yesterday, but it takes quite a while to prep the bobbins. It's surprisingly quite a while. Partly because, well, really it is quite a boring job. So, I have all my bobbins, and most of them are still the same bobbins from before. A few of them have had new contents, but not many. And we shall see how we get on. So, now, what we need to do we need to try and make sure that all the knots stay near the pin. So where's your friend? You're the friend of that. So the knots stay at the top. Now, did I just cover my pin? It looks like I did. Right. To be honest, I think I screwed it up already somehow, so let's try that again, shall we? The problem when you've only got a couple of bobbins, for goodness sake, how are you twisted together? So you go under there, like that. There we go. The only problem when you've got, as I said, only a couple of bobbins, is that nothing looks right, because it won't. It just won't. It's the same as some of the stitches look funny until you've done more of them. It's very easy for it not to look good, and I actually think I want to do it that way. So, you go in there like that. Now I'm pretty confident. Oh, for fuck's sake, Steve. You've ignored me all frigging day. Why do you have to ping me now? I know. Flood alert. So anyway, as I was saying, this is going to be a shorter stream, just because I've spent all this time prepping bobbins, and I'm kind of bobbing down, really. Sorry to say it, but I am a little bobbing down. kind of wanted to do a different project, but the amount of effort for a new project is also not insignificant. Plus, you've also got to decide what it is you were planning on making, which also is not insignificant, because of course, well, there are choices. And I just realised I did something wrong. So I need to go back here, undo that. Yes, flood alert. I realise it's raining. It's a bit hard not to notice that it's raining, frankly. That was the wrong pin. Thanks for that. There you go. I need you. And I need to undo you. Now, like this. Put an extra twist on you. Read over here. Put the pin back. Put the pin there. Do you. Put the pin in. Try and get the knot where it should be. And do. Yeah. Yes. Then we can take you out and pull on you, because that's where you end up. I mean, the strange part is prepping your bobbins. It's not hard. It really isn't. You know, for the most part, it's tying a knot in them to join them back together in this case, and dangling them on the little contraption that I've got. Why does that not make sense? Because clearly I have lost my marbles today. So yeah, just as well I was not planning on a long stream, because pretty much every move I make is going to be wrong by the looks of it. So that's going to be frustrating. I was very disappointed with the last square. When it was, as you know, if you start here, halfway point here, well, it would have been over here, I guess. It really went wrong, and I look back over my pictures, and the only thing that can have happened is it shows up most in the raised ground. While there's a fudge here, to be honest, that's just unfortunate. The raised ground one was very disappointing. And a lot of it, I think, stems from, you may recall, I used to have problems when I joined them about how they would pull. And I think that's exactly what happened to it, is that at the end of square 2, so when I've done that one and that one, these all look great. I then cover it up and work on these ones. And the first row of these ones, beautiful. Second row of these, all of these, beautiful. But these ones here, mush. So I was very disappointed with that, because, you know, I try and take such care over doing it, and clearly it's not helping. It is fruitless effort, I've got the itches again now. So yeah, I just feeling rather dejected today. Another good reason why a shorter stream is going to be a good option. I was watching Squid Game, which I thought was a film originally. I didn't realise it was a series. Because I hadn't watched it. I was sort of like banged on about Squid Game a while back, and I assumed it was a film. I didn't realise, as I say, that it was a series. I feel rather impacted by it because I'm not going to say it rang for me because, of course, I've never been in anything in the like, but it does feel far too real in the sense of so much of things in life are somebody else's game. Now, they all joined in, allegedly, willingly. But we also know that people will agree to things when things are tough. They will make stupid decisions. So, claiming that it's entirely of choice isn't always the correct phrase for it. But for me, it felt a bit like work, and how you make friends at work and see them come and go. But how you don't always know them properly. And I'm not going to give the end of Squid Game away, but yeah, it just felt a little bit real. spilled my drink out there, you know. Really got the itches, which means I'm stressed. Also feels really hot in here. I'll turn the heating down again. I really wanted to do something with sequins and beads this time, but I didn't. Somehow, yesterday just wasn't enough. I mean, obviously we finished it Friday and I hoped to work on it Friday night and I just never got around to it. I was tired. And on Saturday I started pairing these bombs up because I knew I'd need to, because it's all well and good, you know, bringing out an in-between project, but I've still got to do this at the end. So I thought, well, while I'm thinking about it and looking at things, I'll do these bobbins because, well, they need doing. And even if, for say, a week I do another project, I still need to do these bobbins. I still can't start on this until I've done the bobbins. So I set about doing the bobbins and it wasn't going very fast. And it dawned on me that adding a project in the middle, when time is flying by quicker than you thought, is not going to help you. It's just slowing you down for the sake of slowing you down. It's like you've got 50 cakes to bake. You can only have one cake in the oven at a time. So if you decide to do some cupcakes or roast a chicken, well, you've just chopped 2 hours out of your cooking time and you're not doing the cakes you need. Now, admittedly, you need to eat and all that kind of stuff. It's not... But, you know, it's not... I mean, yes, it's good for the brain not to be doing the exact same shit, you know, every 5 minutes. But, you know, the more you put this off, the more bobbins slip down and get longer and annoy you, the longer it's going to take. It's just adding extra journey. It's not, as I say, it helps mentally. That's 2 pins, I can feel that. It helps in that respect, but it doesn't in terms of getting to your end goal. I mean, obviously, you can come back with slightly renewed vigour because it's different, but if you wander off for a week doing something else, all that means is for a week you didn't get anywhere with it. I think what would have helped And, you know, I'm not blaming anything or anyone on specific, but as you know, I've been waiting a month now for some bobbins that I ordered. I think if they'd come and we were trying out new bobbins, again, it adds to the new and exciting side of it, right? And of course, there's every chance I hate the new bobbins. I mean, I haven't even seen one in real life yet. So maybe I hate them. But I won't know until I try. And I do kind of like these. These are reasonable. These are Danish bobbins. I kind of like these. They're a little light. I mean, if they had a bit more weight to them, I'd like them a bit more. But oddly enough, the weight of the bobbin also doesn't really matter, so I don't know why I want them to be heavier. I just kind of... If you've ever played with balsa wood is the lightest stuff in the world. And I remember my dad confusing me something terrible. You get softwood and hardwood, but apparently it's not what we think. Softwood does not mean that if you take a fingernail and go like this with it, that it will dent. And it's like, okay, so what's defined by hard and soft? Oh, well, it's how fast it grows or something, right? Well, it's not really hard and soft, it's slow and fast or something, surely, right? Anyway, balsa wood, despite being, you know, light as a feather and flimsy, and pretty much you can make a dent in it by, you know, just by pressing your finger on top, is a hardwood. And to this day, my brain still doesn't entirely compute how that works. It just doesn't work in my head, you know? It's so hot. How can it be? My seating's now currently set to 16 and a half. And I am warm. I mean, I'm not... Yeah, I'm actually quite warm. I mean, I knocked it down from 18 to 17 and a half. Now, usually, I know it's only half a degree, but it stops the heating coming on quite so often, right? But I feel like it's 24 degrees in here. Now we're getting to the slightly awkward stage where the bobbins are kind of going around the edge and it's trying to fall off, which is a bit annoying. And now my body's going, oh, on the toilet. Not enough, I don't think. It can wait. Oh, for goodness sake, dog. That brown dog will be the death of me. Twitch, twitch, leap, leap, bark, bark, whine, whine. Call out the army. Bruv's now got to get all excited because she heard the tiniest noise. Let me go and get a drink and go to the loo. Back in a minute. We're back! Yay! And I need to turn that off because for some reason that kicked in. Okay. Right. Here we go. That's right, Mr. Amazon Man came and poked it through the door so you can see that there's dog teeth marks. Well done, Mr. Amazon Man, for not following the instructions. Fortunately, I know what's in it, so it shouldn't matter. But still. It's a crochet hook. This is when I discovered it had something else in the packet and I didn't look, isn't it? Oh, come on, phone. Stop being shit. So, what does this look like? That actually looks quite promising. Yes, that actually is quite promising. It's the same size as the pins. Therefore, the head should go through the pinholes quite nicely to be able to pick up a thread and pull it through. The problem is not all crochet hooks are equal, but I went with the brand that I know pretty well to see. We can try it later when we've got a little bit more work done. Because I'm not making a square just to test it on, that's for sure. Right, so... For some reason, I did the knots slightly differently again to try and stop the slipping. I mean, it's not that different, but it is supposed to help. So far, not convinced. I mean, it's not. Do you remember the one I tried that was some woman's suggestion, and she kind of raved about it, and I tried it. And I found it real frigging difficult to do. Well, it's basically a similar idea, but not quite so much of an arse to do. So with that in mind, should be slightly more practical, and to an extent, I'm not disagreeing. It wasn't hard to do. And in fact, I think it was exactly what she was trying to get you to do, but she was trying to get you to do it with the other hand. So it was kind of like back to front. So, for example, if I show you on this one, because this one's here, if I undo this one, like this, right? So this one's now free and easy. She had you twist it and then try and wrap round twice that way. But it was more complicated. But she twisted it, but she wanted you to use kind of the wrong side, but you had to. Anyway, I found it difficult to make the loop. With this one, I just put it through the hole twice, so it goes around the hole twice. So it kind of amounts to the same deal, I think, give or take a bit, but it's definitely not as hard. And some of them are definitely happier than others. But then this is bobbins for you. Some of them slip almost whether you... I mean, even the one I ended up putting a elastic band on last time still managed to slip. Despite, sometimes some bobbins are just real gifted at it. And considering they're supposedly inanimate and, and all of that. So, like this one's bit long. Let's be short. Some bobbins just seem really gifted on slipping. And when I mean gifted, I mean proper gifted. You know, almost they're running away as you look at them. Now, I do have some theory about it, because it usually seems to be the left one of a pair at any given time will be the one that slips as a whole. Now, it's not 100%, because, as I say, some bobbins are better than others. So, you know, the first one's maybe one's really prone to it. But it does seem to be, and I think it's down to when the bobbins roll. When you move the bobbins side to side, I think, depending on where they are in the pair, sometimes it means that they undo themselves. At least I've got a cold drink now. That reminds me, I had a phrase yesterday. I want to look it up. Completely, and it's just leapt back in my head. So, why is it you write words and it's not what comes out? It's not that. Okay. So if I tell you this is pair number 12 that I'm about to attach to my thing, it is surprising how quickly you go through bobbins. So hence, you know, I did feel I had to do all of them, because let's say I was having a cracking day, like the other day where I did all the way down one side in one sitting and it only seemed to take like 2 hours. Let's say I had that day again, I would need all of my bobbins. So, be prepared and all that. Be a good good girl, or not Girl Scouts in this country, but you know what I mean. Brownie Guide, Scouts, Cubs, whatever. It's all the same shit. So yeah, be prepared for. Oh, I know what you two are looking at me for, like I'm an arse. Dog biscuits. Come on. It's a good boy. It's a good girl. There you go. Crunch, 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 crunch. give one longer, not shorter, but means they don't fall off the sides. So shorter it is for the moment. What are you eating? Because that was not a dog biscuit. Because you've eaten it. Now, as I said earlier, one of the most noticeable things is I do realise that almost without a doubt, some of these bobbins will run out before the end of the square. Especially some of the later bobbins, which I hope to put in round about the middle. Why the middle is, well, the bobbins that came off this pin here, for example, I know are over here. And now they come in and kind of go in this direction. But it's not quite true, because they will go in and join here. They will come out further down, maybe even here. Then they'll go out to here, down to here. That will come in and go out, say, here, and then go in, you know. They don't take a straight route. And so it's really hard to predict how long any given bobbin is, which is why, you know, we've had a few discussions over the how long should I wind on to my bobbins, and the answer is I have no frigging idea, absolutely none, because the path any one bobbin takes isn't that simple. Now, what I do intend to do, because I am a sad individual, is write a program that you say what stitch, you know, you give it basically the pattern. You'll obviously have to put them in, which could be very laborious, but we'll ignore that portion. And that it will calculate where the thread goes. And then, knowing the distance between the pins, take a pin, add, you know, pin distance plus a bit, so that's a thing. Plus an amount, so you probably could do with 12 inches at the end to tie knots with, right? Because you've got to have it on the end of a bobbin and everything. To try and work out how long each one should be, so I can do it more accurately. Now, how do you test it? Well, we've got plenty of squares to go, to be honest. So, with that in mind, it should be fairly simple to decide where everything goes and how long a route each pair takes, because they do generally stay as pairs. So we should be able to work it out, and have one where you can at least be slightly more accurate in what you're going to wind on to your bobbin. Now, one of the things I did struggle with, and I wish Nautical was here, was the knots. So I did the reef knot, which is supposed to be great and wonderful, but nearly every single one of them immediately slips. Now, it gets bored and latches on, and at that point I accept that that's where it's good, and snip and tidy later. But this is why I have no faith when it comes to the reef knot and tying off. Because, well, if it can slip, and you need it to be at exactly this spot for tension and all the rest of these things, well, it's no good to you if it needs to move before it decides, yeah, that's the spot I'm going to grasp. I need it to be good and strong where it is, which is, again, a good reason to glue it. You will sit here, like it or not. So I do find myself confused, because now some of it may be because the thread we're using is high spun, and so quite smooth, so it hasn't really got anything to latch onto. But that shouldn't matter. Now, the reef knot and the granny knot are basically the same. You just, well, you got to remember when you do the first left over right and round, what was, the dog's going nuts. I really don't need this. What was on the left is now on the right. So when they say right over left, you're using the same one. In the granny knot, you repeat left over right, which now means what the right one, which was a bit more passive in the journey last time, is the active one. So to me, a granny knot has got to be far more secure. But it's not supposed to. The reef knot's supposed to be more secure. So I find myself really, really fed up with it all. Because, you know, like we tried with the weaver's knot, some of them worked beautifully and some of them just instantly fell apart. And you're like, if I do the same actions, I'm supposed to get the same results. You know, if I'm doing the same action with the same substance, I should get the same results. And when you don't, it's just, well, how do you cope with that? That's just not a practical thing, right? And so I don't know. I find myself really struggling with it because it shouldn't be this way. It should be as simple as you do this action, this will happen. And yet it's not. It's not working like that. And so yeah, I don't know what to do about it. Is the short answer. I really, really don't. You are too long compared to all your friends, even though you've got the double knot like everybody else. Get back in there. I am beginning to think that the inner squares need to be different. I just don't know what to do entirely different about them. And will you not, please, little one? I love you dearly. Yes, I do love you. But can you not just kind of trounce all over everything? Yes, smelly face. I've got to hug the dog, haven't I? Yes. I know. I don't have more biscuit. No, I don't. No, I don't. Now don't go and sit there and look at me like I've got one. I haven't. She's assumed the position for receiving of food. Treaty food. Do not have such substance to give you. I know I should never have said the word, but I don't. I really don't. You had it. You ate it. You did. I saw you. I heard you. And she's kind of going, you cow, you said the magic word. No. I said the word and you assumed that there was for you. Yes. Thank you. Oh, can you not stand on my boobs? It's really not a helpful thing, little one. No. Little brown. Oh, what are you on? I wish you'd stop grinding your teeth. You can't be doing them any good. And you caught that off your brother. 'Cause he did it when he was teething. And he still does it, but you do it most. Yes, you do. How do you stand on my boobs so much? And you're making my nose itch. I'm already itchy today. I don't know why I'm itchy today, but lots of bits of me are itchy today. So can we not? Thank you. Now I itch again. Houston, we have too many bobbins. And the name of mercy, is that true? I see how it's true. This is where I wish I could see more than 2 inches beyond my face. Because this is... it's hard enough seeing pinholes at the best of times. You are the next ones. So lift you up. And then pick you up. Probably be just as quick to undo it all, but there we go. Pick it up. Now, there we go. I thought it looked a little bit odd, but it didn't look that odd until I realised there was too many bobbins. There we go. How can I be this itchy? No, just because I've stopped for 2 seconds does not mean I need to devote them to dog. Literally itch everywhere now. My sticks are accessible, don't get me wrong. They're just in the way of other things. Hang on. Managed to put my standard bobbins on them, which didn't help. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put some sticks on. Should really be a lot longer at this point, but you know. For now, that's fine. Around there. Tangled already. Need that. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Pants. Pantsy pants. When your heating set's 16 and a half, it should not be this hot in here. And moreover, why does the This is something I've never understood. I can show you that my heating is not using none of the little, you can't really see them, but none of the flames are orange, right? So it's not heating anything, no water, no heat. But I can tell you that the supposed monitor of gas and electric currently says I'm using 24p of gas an hour. But nothing's drawing on it. Now, the oven's not on. Not cooking my dinner. The problem is, and I found this before because I even went outside and flipped the thing to turn the gas off. And it will show for like 90 minutes that I'm still using gas. It'll drop down slowly. So let's say it's on 24p. It'll go down to say, 15p, 10p, 5p, and then eventually to 0. But it takes like 90 minutes, even though you stopped using gas 90 minutes ago. It's terrible. Because how can you judge what you're doing if it's saying that it's 24p an hour, for, and you're burning money for the next 90 minutes when you're not? It's a shocking system. Now, I know that, like everything, it goes, it's the average over the last 30 minutes. Well, after 30 minutes, the answer should be 0, because it's not using it no more. But, of course, if the average was 24p now, in 15 minutes, when it next checks, perhaps, well, it was 24p an average now, so it was 24p and 0. Well, say, that makes it 12p. But it's not 12p, it's 0. And so it kind of has a half-life. And the electric doesn't do that. The electric's quite accurate. I can go and turn on my kitchen lights that eat electricity, and it'll go up. I turn them off, and within about 30 seconds, it drops down. But the gas doesn't. It's got a half-life. And I'd rather it says you're using £3 an hour for 10 minutes and then drops to 0 than you're using, I know, an average of 24p an hour for the next 90 minutes when you stopped using it. Never mind. It's not your problem. Right, now we need one of these. So I've loaded these up again because these are the ones that run out quite a lot. And you're on the wrong side, douche. Right. So this is where we get into a problem, because we had this problem last time. In that, really, you need to just go in there and get on with it. So, come on, Bobbins. You want to play? Of course you do. Doesn't matter how much you angle these pins, sometimes the thread just leaps straight off unless you put some white on them. Okay. Now we put the real pin in for you to go twisty twisty. And go back the way you came. And you can come out. Right. And we need you. And you twisted, so that's fine. Get pin. Another pair of bobbins. Yoink. You don't need to be in that. Well done. Each. Why are you slipping? Why are you such a pain in the butt? I should apologise, I do get moody when I'm really itchy. It's kind of a hand-in-hand thing. When I get frustrated or stressed or, wound up, I tend to itch. But itching makes me irritable. So then I get more wound up and more... yeah. And this bobbin is getting on my nerves. To the point you must have been the bobbin that had this last time. Quit it. As I was saying though, I think if my new bobbins had arrived and I was playing with my new bobbins, I think I'd probably feel a bit cheerier just because I'd be playing with new bobbins and I enjoy playing with new bobbins. But then there's always the, or what if you hate them, factor of it. Because we all know how much I love spangles, for example. And these bobbins should look a lot like the ones that you get spangles on, but without. They're a bit chunkier. They're kind of Midlands bobbins without the spangles, but slightly beefier, but not a lot. So we shall have to see, because a lot of the bobbins that I've liked the actual bobbin portion of it, this neck portion has been tapered, which has made it basically useless to me. And I don't see how it's not useless to everybody else. If the taper was the other way, so it was thin at the bottom, fat at the top, that would make perfect sense to me. Reason being, obviously, if it's tapered, the threads can slip. But if the weight is being pulled towards the top and the tape's there, all you're doing is keeping the bobbin taut where it was. Whereas if it's tapered the other way, it just slides up and you end up with a big pile of mush where all your beautifully wound thread was, and it tangles and mates and gets grumpy and comes undone because, well, it can come undone because none of the threads are taut anymore. And it just seems kind of dumb. Now, I have some that I really like, but they've got this tapered neck. And so there is a part of me that says, get the sandpaper out. But like these, they have, if they have any form of varnishy, lacquer is the worst one. If they're untreated wood entirely, then it wouldn't be so bad, because the wood itself would have a feel to it. But these, for example, these bobbins, the light pair, it's much like what's on my loom. It's almost a plastic feel. So it's like it's a plastic varnish. I don't know quite how to explain it. But varnish has kind of a slippery feel. These just feel plastic, but they're made of wood. So they've got a coating on. And it's not an uncommon coating. So, for example, one of my looms is covered in it. But what it does mean, of course, is should you sandpaper it, you're going to reveal the wood underneath. It's no longer protected. Stop licking it. So, it makes you more reluctant to try and fix things because, well, I don't know what this plastic coated stuff is, other than it's completely transparent and it's obviously a very thin coat of it, which probably means I almost certainly can't easily, daub a hole on it. It's not like nail varnish where you can kind of, wipe a bit over with acetone, put a small amount in the hole and kind of fill in a hole almost. It doesn't work that way. So I really don't know quite how to fix, because some of the bobbins that I've got are really nice to work with in terms of I like the weight of them, I like the shape of them, but if they're going to be, if in terms of use, the bobbins are basically unusable because the thread slides up and turns into a mess, and well, then they're almost not fit for purpose. So I'm really hoping that these bobbins, whenever they finally freaking get here, I mean, seriously, I ordered them last year. It's the 26th of January today. I ordered them last year. And they were put in the post. They got ready on the 1st. They were put in the post on the 2nd. So it's not like, oh, well, you know, they're being handmade and they haven't done them yet. Did I add a pair? This doesn't feel like I added a pair. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that's because... No. I didn't drop the pair last time. By the looks of it. As I said, it's just as well I wasn't planning a long stream today, because clearly I am a danger to my lace. Out. You, however you're twisted in here, need to get out the fuck out of here. Come on. I can't tell. It's a vision thing. I can't tell which way threads are crossed. I just have to cross and twist and hope that I can work it out. So you were not part of this, and nor were you. So you two should have already buggered off. You? Don't you be joining in with the friggin' running away thing. Don't need that. So now we put you in here. And I should have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do. I just told you not to do that! Sometimes I catch them at it. Sometimes it's because you do that. You put this tiny amount of slip on, and you can feel the bobbin just moving down, and you're like, "Oh, cheers for that." But like then, I shortened it. It was the right thing. I looked back, and it was long again, and it's like, how? How did you move? How did you do that? I just sorted that out. It's either that or this is going to be a cursed square, and that frankly I might as well just chop it off and throw it in the garden. I'd like to think not. Oh, now I've got the yawns. Well done, brain cells. Really don't need that. This is in part because it is stupidly hot in here. Even though I turned the heating down to 16.5 degrees an hour ago. The gas thing's still saying 24 degrees. Sorry, 24 pence an hour. The boiler says it's not me. The radiator's not hot. So, you know. And somehow it's wrong again. How am I doing this? I need to stop. I need to give up. There is something wrong with me today. You come out there. So, 1, 2, 3. You should have buggered off, leaving 1, 2, 3, 4, and we needed to add 1, and we didn't, because somehow I have the brain cell of a dog fart today. I'm a danger, literally. When we get to the end of this section, I am going to stop before I do something really stupid. Bugger off. Now the thing is, I should have 5 at this point. And I don't. And I itch. I can't tell where I've gone wrong. This is just for something so fucking simple. How can I be screwing this up so much? Right, so I added a pair, but I must have not added a pair at some point because I've got the wrong number of bobbins. And my table is beginning to annoy me because it's not straight. So, itchy. No, that was the wrong pin. Surprisingly, you have no idea how hard it is sometimes to get the pins out of here because they go behind other pins and they're really close together. I didn't add a pair there. So, 1, 3, 4. Now I need to, under you, add a pair. That's the way around. Add a pair. Can we stop rolling? 2. See, this is what I mean by when I get irritable, I just get more and more irritable because everything seems to be pissing me off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I get itchy, I get irritable, and then more things irritate me because I'm already irritated. And, oh look, my gas finally says 0. Fuck me. But I get more and more irritated to the point I could set fire to it and walk away and not feel twice. And I can do this on a pretty large scale. I could want to do my entire house, you know. Depends on what's annoying me, of course. But the itching thing is the hardest part because if you've ever had an itchy rash, you know how irritable and soul disturbing having an itchy rash is. Well, kind of there. So my hair itches, my back itches, my sides itch, my stomach itches, my leg itches, pretty much everything itches other than maybe my fingers, and my face is itching, and I will literally scratch till I bleed because it itches. And no matter how hard I try not to, all it does is drive me insane. And so it is a form of torture. And I do struggle because, you know, there's me trying to do something. And this is not hard, people. This really isn't. I'm itching away. Everything is itching. And you just can't think because all you can hear... It's a bit like an irritating noise. To start with, it's just a noise and whatever. But after a while, it's got to go. It's got to stop. And it's the same with people kicking a chair. It's an irritant, and it won't... And until it stops... Hang on. There's my back scratching device to me back. See if that helps a bit. Well, for 2 seconds anyway. Won't help my face. But because you are already irritated, more things that would have passed you by irritate you because you're already in a mood, right? You know, it's kind of like, you're breathing too loudly, you know, kind of irritation. Right? Is that it's not necessarily any one thing that is wrong, but you've already reached boiling point, and frankly now everything is on top, and everything that is on top needs to quit it. And this is kind of where I'm at. So I'm itchy, I'm hot, I'm slightly sweaty because it's hot, and which of course makes you itchy, and then because you're itchy, you're potentially hotter than you were because you know, are in a bit of a temper, your blood's flowing, and it just kind of keeps going. So when we get to the end of this, I'm gonna stop for the sanity of everybody, because clearly today's not the day. Bit disappointingly, but at the same time I did expect it to be a shorter stream, but not for this reason. Dog, you're pushing your luck. Today, have we not just been discussing how irritated I am and how everything on top of it just needs to be stabbed, scratched, beaten up, thrown away, taken out back and set light to? Kicking me because I'm sitting on my couch is not going to be a good plan for today. It's not a good plan on any day, but it's really not the plan for today. It's really not in your interest to be doing that. Oh, look. Light rain expected to begin in the early hours. What, you mean unlike the rain that's happening now? Thanks, computer. Microsoft Weather is a crappity app. Oh, look. It's joy. Like, that doesn't irritate people either. One less itch can only be a good thing. Still sweaty. You're slightly not level. Where's the handle? Oh, should be. Shouldn't be a sideways thing though. It can only be a this way thing. I finally found out and worked out how to adjust the handle without losing my sanity. So I have tightened it up, not quite with a mallet, but I tightened it up to the best of my humanly possibilities to try and help stop it moving. But clearly, not quite. The problem is, of course, is I sit this side and my arms and weights, any weight that goes on it is this side. So naturally will push it down. Just checking I had the right number of bobbins, because today is the day for that not to be right after all. Pretty sure you're all supposed to be over there. Yep. So you need to go back in here. You could be a little longer, as could you two. You, of course, have run away. You can go in the next stick. Stick. And well, it's a bit of a sad stick for you, but you're going to stick too. I think it's fine. So, bit of a lame effort, frankly, and it's been a little bit moody getting here, so I apologise for that. But like everything, can't really change it. I really do need to change how I do these pictures, because if I keep putting the end result as the thumbnail, well, it kind of spoils the fun, doesn't it? But I forgot to take a picture of it when it was empty, so I haven't really got a lot of choice. It's almost worth undoing it and doing it on a good day. But as I said, I knew today was going to be shorter. I didn't realise maybe quite this short, but it's a good place. Clearly, I'm a danger to my lace. I'm making lots of mistakes, and I'm clearly not in the right frame of mind for it. So to prevent hatred and loathing later, because of course I'll be pretty mad if I've done it all wrong, won't I? So I'm going to leave it for today, and I shall be back another day, hopefully tomorrow. Obviously it's a work day tomorrow, so that never helps. But I shall try and see you tomorrow, where hopefully, although I'll have been to work and had the joys of that, which of course can always set you in the perfect mood for doing something with fiddly pins and tiny little threads. Of course you can. Or not, as the case may be. Anyway, thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.